What is going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So we have to break down Sofi in this one, the charts, my thoughts, what's going on with the stock right now in the short term, and I want to go over whether or not there's short squeeze potential in this one and whether or not it could be like an Ffie, GameStop, AMC type of play. So we have a lot to cover in this video. Hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and check out all the links down below, guys, if you want some free stocks and if you want to check out the Patreon. And with that being said, cheers, let's dive right into the video. So overall today, guys, before we dive into Sofi, talk a little bit about Ffie as well, let me show you what happened with the indexes today, guys. Overall, we had a red day across the board where we had the Russell go down about 0.6% on the day, which actually led the losses. So it actually wasn't that bad of a day, but we did have a 0.6% red day on the Russell. The NASDAQ and the S&P, they each went down about 0.25%. You guys can see here on Triple Q, which I also believe hit another all-time high today, guys, which kudos to the indexes. They're freaking crushing it. Yeah, I think Triple Q hit 454 this morning. That's an all-time high. And we had SPY hit, let me see here, another all-time high being about 531, which again, SPY also went down about 0.25%. And we had the good old Dow Jones. Are you ready for this, guys? It hit 40,050 points, which is a milestone for the index, which I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised we hit that. We actually talked about this yesterday and months ago as well. We talked about how I thought the Dow was going to hit 40K this year, and here we are, 40,000 points. So all-time highs were hit today on the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ, even though all of them ended up going red today, which is interesting, right? So we hit all-time highs earlier in the day, then we sold off pretty much to end off the day, right? And Sofi ended up going down just over 2% on the day today, guys. It closed at $7.12, and it went down 15 cents officially on the day. And we also took out the lows from yesterday, which yesterday we pretty much held right around 720, 725 for the entire day. Then we pushed through that point, and today we kind of bottomed out at about 710, 711. We closed at 712. And the thing is, guys, yeah, we took the lows out from yesterday. We've been selling off a bit the last couple of days here. Well, really the last 2 days, but we're still holding above $7, which you guys know, I've said this time and time again, that spot is critical for the bulls. We've held that over the last couple of months, and quite frankly, the bulls need to hold that in the short term. If you want to see any sign of a bounce back or maybe a short squeeze type play, kind of like, Ffie or AMC, GameStop, one of these, right? Because look, even though Sofi doesn't have as much short interest as some of those names, not nearly as much, there's still potential for a squeeze here. I feel like there's, and I've been saying this for a while, I think the stock is artificially just too low right now. I think the company's executing very nicely. The fundamentals are there. They're doing well in a tougher environment, right? And I feel like Anthony Noto is leading the ship in the right direction. Call me crazy. But the stock's just not moving. It's just not freaking budging, and it doesn't make sense to me, right? So I'm in this, obviously, full disclosure. My average cost is pretty much right where we are now. I bought shares in the high sixes, low sevens, mid sevens range, right? So I'm pretty much break even right now, and I'm planning on buying even more. You guys know I'm bullish Sofi in the long term. Maybe not so much in the very short term. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a squeeze. We'll see how the technicals play out, which right now we're still making lower highs. Keep that in mind, which is a reason why I'm not super bullish in the short term until the technicals, prove me otherwise. But let me show you this. Let me pull up Safari very quickly, and we'll talk about what's going on here with the numbers when it comes to Sofi, right? Looking at some of their share statistics. So bear with me. So right off the bat, guys, the company has 1.06 billion shares outstanding. You guys can see right here, and the float is 993.36 million shares, right? And what I want you to focus on here is the shares short, right? So out of those shares outstanding. We have 100, and again, roughly, let's just say 1 billion shares outstanding. So out of those billion, we have 183 roughly million shares sold short. So the short interest on SoFi right now, if I zoom in a little bit more, come on, there we go. Now you guys can see it a bit better. We can see the short interest is 18%. So not nearly what FFIE is, which I think is 95% or 85% short interest. GME, AMC, probably in that 30 to 50% range. I forget. I have to double check. But it's not nearly there. But the thing with SoFi is, call me crazy, but I think the fundamentals are a lot better than obviously GameStop. I mean, look, they're different businesses. We can't get into that in this video, but obviously they're different businesses. But I feel like fundamentally speaking, SoFi is better than FFIE, better than these other names. And they're profitable, guys. They're heading in the right direction. Their business is growing, unlike those other names. Well, I can't say about FFIE. I have to look deeper into their actual financials, this, that, whatever. But it's pretty obvious SoFi is a strong company that I feel like is just artificially, being manipulated, being bet against here. Maybe not artificially, but there's a lot of investors out there that are short, again, 18% short interest, which I feel like if they just string a couple more quarters, strong quarters together with some strong guidance, man, this thing could really take off. I mean, there's people in the comments saying that they think SoFi is a $15, $20 stock, and I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. So yeah, I feel like this could be one of those, maybe not crazy 5,000, squeeze plays, but could it run a couple 100%, 200, 300, 400% from where it is nowadays? I think it could, guys. Call me crazy, but I feel like it could. So again, 18% short float right now, short interest, right? We can see that. Shares short, 180 million. And of course, the shares outstanding just over 1 billion, right? So we'll, do more updates on SoFi, break these numbers down a little bit more, and you guys can see here on Fintel, same thing pretty much, 18% short interest, 182 million shares short, and we can see the short interest ratio, 5.6 days to cover, which is interesting. Maybe we'll dive deeper into that in another video. But yeah, guys, that's a quick breakdown here on SoFi. Kind of some thoughts there. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm actually curious to see where your head's at. And before we wrap up this video, guys, let me show you what FFIE is doing, how that's wrapped up or how it wrapped up the day, and what's going on after the bell with this thing right here. So we can see it closed up 134%. Which is very good, obviously. And earlier in the day, we were up over 200%. And now at close, we are at what? $1.65, $1.65 that is. And after the bell, it's pretty much unchanged, down a little bit. So FFIE had a crazy day. Looks like GME, let me pull it up, had a red day, 30% red day at that. And do you guys remember the descending triangle we talked about in my previous GameStop video? Although we can't fully trust the technicals with these stocks, I get it, but look, the descending triangle is playing out on GME that we talked about in the last video, which obviously is not the best sign here for the bulls. And we have AMC down, or went down 15% on the day. Not much more red in the aftermarket. In fact, we're up a little bit in the aftermarket, about 4 or 5 cents. But guys, look at this. We do have a descending triangle on AMC, which again, we can't fully trust the technicals. I get it, but we called it out on GME. It's slightly playing out on GME. Maybe it plays out here as well on AMC, which, by the way, I'm still in my $9 calls on AMC. I'm down a bunch, but guess what? Do you guys remember those 2 rules? Number 1, only put an amount of money that you're willing to fully lose. And number 2, take the profits quick when you get the profits, which in this case, I didn't get the profits. It is what it is. I didn't get them yet. But look, I followed the first rule. I put an amount of money in the calls that I'm willing to lose. And guess what? I don't care if I lose it all. It's fun. It's a speculation. It's a gamble at the end of the day. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments on SoFi, these other, stocks that we talked about. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out all the links down below if you want some free stocks. And if you want to check out the Patreon at stocksurfest.com/Patreon, there's a QR code right here, or just use that link down below. I'm actually building out a $100 per week portfolio to show you guys how I'm doing that every single week with full transparency. Check it out, guys. I'll see you on the inside. And with that being said, cheers. Peace out.